This is the BBC.
This podcast is supported by advertising outside the UK. This is the BBC.
We interrupt your Radio 4 podcast pleasure with this important appeal to your curiosity. Music, how does it work? Why does it move us, scare us, make us cry, make us fall in love? Well, the answers to these questions and many more are available on the Listening Service podcast from wherever you get your podcasts. It's listening, it's music. My name's Tom Service. You get the idea. Listen to it and we guarantee that music's inner life will be revealed to you. Well, now that your listening curiosity has been whipped into a foment, normal service now resumes.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Comedy of the Week podcast, the home of stupendously excellent comedy from BBC Radio 4. And, well, here's another one.
Welcome to Daytime on BBC One. It's a lot like a life support machine. You never wanted to rely on it, but you're not going to switch it off. So, if you're watching, you're either unemployed, retired, or one of those poncy artistic types.
Charming.
So, for as long as your lecky key, whatever that is, lasts, do enjoy our top-notch daytime entertainment.
Unbelievable. Well, they needn't think I'm going to be watching them for more than another 7 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Yapp's Media Circus! Good evening. Welcome to the Media Circus. A look at the three-ring, multi-platform, cross-promoted, content-rich, 360-degree cluster mess of the media we consume. If you're listening in the car, I, too, cannot believe he's just cut you up. If you're making dinner, that tomato paste is probably fine. And if you're a parent, good luck with bath time, and it's not long now till gin time. I'm Yapp, and I've spent 25 soul-crushing years working in the media. I'm best known for condensing things down into a couple of minutes. TV shows, films, lovemaking. I tell you what, here's an example. BBC Breakfast, set to music in 2 minutes, ably assisted by the amazing George Fouracres and Emily Lloyd-Saney. You're watching BBC One, where we're off to Salford for breakfast.
It's time to swill down the coffee and head to the floor. Make sure that you've locked that security door. 'Cause Toto, I don't think we're in West London anymore. No, it's a wonderful morning in Salford.
Breakfast, and okay, we're not ITV. We're not on the flight path of celebrity. We spend more time these days with the constabulary. But it's a wonderful morning in Salford.
And here's Carol with the weather.
It's going to be a lovely day, so chase all those dark thoughts away. It's just so hard to date again, but with wine and Downton, who needs men? Tomorrow is a brand new start, but then it will get dark. Darker. Darker.
Thanks, Carol. We'll bring you the news at the pace of a snail. We've copied the headlines you'll read in the mail.
You're too left-wing.
You're too right-wing. We're all doomed to fail, but it's a wonderful morning in Salford.
Our thanks to the crew for making it through.
You dodged all the muggers that were waiting for you. It looks like Northern Ireland in 72. It's a wonderful morning. We'd love to come and say hello, but all the gates are locked. You've had your last warning. You can't say that you've lived until you've had your cart washed. Yes, it's a wonderful morning in Salford.
All of which leads us nicely to our featured act in the Media Circus tonight, Daytime TV. Once the great giant of breakfast lumbers away, it's time for that special suite of TV shows designed to make you feel like you're in hospital with broken hands and you're unable to change the channel. Because why else would you watch Daytime TV? Obviously, I've been staring down the barrel of deadlines for scripts for this show, which means that I've been gazing slack-jawed at Daytime TV a lot. Emily, George, do you watch much daytime TV?
Nope. I tend to focus on my successful comic acting career instead.
or I'll play some sport or chat with friends.
You literally sound like a character out of my tricolor French workbook at school.
I watch a bit of daytime TV. I do watch Jeremy Kyle because it's great character research. And then probably Homes Under the Hammer for research.
Okay.
And then a bit of This Morning.
Right.
Then while I'm making lunch, you know, if it's on, I'll watch Loose Women.
Right.
For research. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then, you know, I might as well just smash on then with Come Dine With Me, Tipping Point and Eggheads.
And before you know it, Mum's home. Nowadays, we take it for granted, but daytime TV, well, it wasn't always there.
Men of the board of the British Broadcasting Corporation, thank you for attending. Does everyone have enough sardine sandwiches and cigarettes?
Yes, thank you.
Ah, yes, where are my manners? Let me light my pipe.
Sorry.
A meeting's not a meeting without a few pipes lit.
Yeah.
Close that window, would you?
Yes, sorry.
Well, now that we're all here, not that I'd know with all the smoke, let's have our daily televisual broadcastification meeting. Timkins?
Yes, sir. Well, today we've made 3 hours and 6 minutes of television.
Bravo.
Well done.
Bravo.
Very good.
And what will we show the rest of the time?
Well, sir, me and the boys were throwing some ideas around in the quad.
Yes, go on, yes.
Look, this might sound silly, but we thought that during the day we'd point the camera at a photograph of an 8-year-old girl. Stay with me, sir.
A famous girl?
No one knows who she is, but she's not alone.
Yes, go on. Who's she with?
She's sitting with the scariest toy clown we can find. She's in front of a blackboard, playing noughts and crosses. Nobody knows who's winning, but you suspect that whoever loses is in for a really awful time.
This is fantastic. And what would you call this tableau you describe?
A test card.
A test card? Yeah. Well, by Jove, that'll keep the bums on seats.
Why is modern daytime TV barely more engaging than a test card? Because it has to cater to arguably the broadest audience imaginable.
Wealthy retirees.
Poverty-stricken retirees.
People in care homes.
The unemployed.
Parents of young children.
Students.
Security guards.
Drug dealers.
And Paul Burrell. Let's have a look at the bill of fare. Jake Yapp's Media Circus presents the 5 most common types of daytime show. At 5, remember your place, plebs. AKA, watch the life you'll never have. Let's face it, vast tracts of the daytime audience are unemployed or unemployable, and they don't have the means to go out, so must sit at home relying on pretty much the cheapest form of entertainment there is.
Apart from creating artworks out of your own excrement.
Okay. We feed shift workers, parents, and pensioners shows with such far-fetched and despairingly improbable titles as
Escape to the Country.
Or
A Place in the Sun.
AKA
Imagine being able to be anywhere other than where you are now.
Or if you're still trudging down the difficult road to that first million, there's every benefit receiver's favourite Homes Under the Hammer. Nothing about the show should work. But weirdly, it does. Hi, Martin Highlights here, and this is a nice little fixer-upper under the hammer today. Ironic, really, since, as you can see, the toilet's been smashed up with hammers by angry squatters. But situated as it is in Peckham's historic rioting district, it's almost certainly going to prove highly profitable for a slum landlord. While you enjoy watching rich tossers ransack the former property of the working class, slap emulsion on it, and bleed the proles dry for rent. See how we get on later in the programme. Let's see what Lucy's up to.
I'm in Soho, looking round a bijou little voiceover booth to do some voiceover work for a carpet advert. Why am I doing that? Because I'm likely to get fired now they've got a new extra presenter in. Carpets, carpets, carpets!
I'm the new one. I can talk things. I was a footballer. I am a presenter now. Now, earlier earlier on, we were working towards the capitalist endgame of no one other than the top 1% owning any property ever. Michael, 4 million kids living in poverty in the UK. Looks like you've made room enough to take that to 4,000,009 in here.
Yeah, well, we were going for that Victorian slum-type feel, so I've been able to double mezzanine the rooms into sleeping crawl-space dormitories. Should get 35 to 50 in here.
Let's see what our valuers thought. Two nervous-looking estate agents who reek of aftershave so badly you can smell them through the telly.
I estimate that this property would easily dispossess up to 4 people.
I estimate this property would strip away any chance of property ownership for a family of 4 or 5.
So, well done, Michael. See you next time when my stare will be even more wild-eyed than ever for more feel-good TV for poor people. Daytime TV show type number 4. Issue-based talk shows. Now, these cover a staggering breadth of content, starting at the top with the highbrow bluster of daily politics. And, sorry, who decided that anything Westminster-related needs a jaunty, jazzy theme tune? Bombs are dropping in Homs. How do we respond? We need some answers quickly while the casualties pile. The tune's in the style of the theme tune from Strictly. From the war room to the ballroom. Backwards in heels with Andrew Neils. Andrew Neil says every line as if he's asking, why did you paint my house salmon pink? Why? You've gone through my whole house and painted it salmon pink. From daily politics, it's an exponential race downhill to Victoria Derbyshire, to the right stuff, now defunct, to This Morning and Loose Women, down to the absolute bottom of the barrel, Jeremy Kyle. It's easy to knock discussion shows, but in their defense, they are there to stir the creme caramel-colored sludge of your brain up a bit. I mean, they spark debate, which is good for conversation. Look, I've sat on public transport watching people who have been married for too long. They've got nothing left to say to each other. Is this what you want all of the rest of your whole life to be like?
Cow there.
Hey.
I said there's a cow.
All right.
Gone now, missed it. See that tree?
Hey.
Tree back there.
What tree?
It's like the one in Pat's garden.
Pat who?
Pat, St Albans.
All right.
I hate you.
I can't even be bothered to hate you.
Daytime TV show type number 3. Quiz shows. Now, if ever a show was made by The Yard, it's the daytime TV quiz show, with a 28-minute episode having a studio recording time of 28 minutes and 4 seconds. There is no room for anything other than a mechanized conveyor belt of program making. Latterly, though, even the formats themselves rarely seem to have taken longer to think up than an extended lunch break, being based on end-of-the-pier coin machines or traditional pub games or anything that's license-free and doesn't involve the cost of having to make more than one prop. Welcome to Throwing the Bread, the fast-paced test of nerve where whoever throws the most pieces of bread into an old ice cream tub wins. And here's your host, Matt Finish.
Hello, and welcome again to Throwing the Bread, where you can earn a crust by throwing a crust. Quick hello to our studio audience, which you will never see, not one time ever, but whose applause accompanies every music sting as reliably as if it was a sound effect conjured at the push of a button. Today's contestant is irrelevant. Hello.
Hello.
Let's get some money in the bank. For 50p, what is an Alsatian a type of?
Cheese?
Oh, contestant, I'm sorry. The answer we were looking for was dog or wine.
Oh.
Why don't you have a quick toss anyway to see if you would have won, because otherwise this show will run horrifically short. Here we go. Oh, you missed anyway. Bad luck. Get out. We start filming the next episode in 3, 2... Hello and welcome again to Throwing the Bread.
The weird thing about these shows is, however simplistic or frankly weird the mechanism within them, I can't help but be drawn in Kurt Vonnegut has this theory about why people laugh at jokes. He says, when someone asks you, why did the chicken cross the road? Your brain obligingly tries to think of some logical reason why a chicken might cross the road. It desperately seeks to make sense of what it's been asked, so that when the punchline comes, you laugh not out of mirth, but just the sheer relief that you don't have to think about it anymore. And in a way, daytime quiz shows are a bit like that. You know, whatever the premise, however banal, your brain willingly starts to invest in it. See how your brain does with these ones.
Welcome to Anything at All. Can you think of anything at all and win £400?
Welcome to Odd One Out. Can you tell which one of these horses is a murderer?
Welcome to Answer the Question, Darren, are you sleeping with our sister? The quiz show about hedges.
Welcome to Can You Swim? We'll meet today's contestants once we've fished out yesterday's champion.
Welcome to Dead or Alive. Today's contestant is Beryl. Oh no, it's happened again.
While we're on the subject of not being able to think of anything, we need to talk about Nick Knowles. Because you might not know this, for some of the year, he has 3 separate shows running concurrently on BBC One. Do you know why? This is just a theory, right? It's because he's so bland, so breathtakingly unremarkable that you barely notice he's there. Like, you can't object to Nick Knowles because it would be like objecting to nitrogen. He's just there in the atmosphere. He's inert. He's not doing anything other than occupying space. He's like a hobnob dropped behind a radiator.
Can you leave him alone, please? I love old Knowlesy. Also, thank you. Are you forgetting Nick Knowles' incredible music? I think it's fair to say that he's easily taken the prize for the definitive version of Here Comes the Sun off of George Harrison.
No, I'm not paying him a royalty on this show, all right? It's not happening. Daytime TV show type number 2 is low-budget drama.
Okay, I'll call you later. Bye. Oh, Michael.
What are you doing?
I'm just staring wistfully at my mobile phone in this corridor.
Why?
Because we can't afford to do anything else.
But this is unbelievably boring to watch.
I know, but we don't have the budget to make anything happen.
Can't you at least get in a car or something and drive pointlessly about?
No. We've got this corridor, a phone, and a handful of bits of paper, look.
Okay, well, why don't you drop them and then we can both bend down to pick them up and look at each other in some sort of meaningful way.
All right. Whoops.
What's wrong with you?
I'm worried this is still boring.
Don't worry. The way we've managed viewers' expectations downwards over the years, even opening a can of beans is a landmark event.
That's beautiful. Isn't there some money we could spend on something? An indoor firework? Anything?
No. It's all the posh actors. They bleed drama budgets dry across the board.
Wait! Aren't you a posh actor?
I wish. Just think how much easier life would have been.
Knock, knock, knock. Hello, my boy. Come in, sit down. They told me there's a new Olivier priest into town. I'd like to get you on my books, but first I'll have to see what your qualifications are.
Here is my CV. When I left university, I did a spot of rep.
Oxford?
No, Cambridge.
Footlights?
Yes.
Splendid chap. Eton, Harrow?
Westminster, in fact.
Hip hip huzzah.
But I've always paid my own way.
Yes.
With my allowance from Papa. An acting life for me, I'm independently wealthy.
Now, my dear boy, just because you're posh at English, it doesn't mean you're any good. Let's see how well you do. I'd like to hear you play a Baltimore chap from The Wire.
Yo, sup, what's happening?
Good Lord, the boy's on fire. And do some Stephen Hawking, the bit I really like.
Whoops.
You fell right off the bike. An acting life for you. Your cash will see you through. There's a couple of roles we might put you up for. The first is a film for films. You'd play Mitchell, the father of an impoverished family living on benefits in the Gorbals. Okay, go.
Hootsman, I need me some smack.
Excellent. Second one's a bit of a stretch. You'd play a blind Alaskan gypsy lesbian blues man who's in love with a horse. But they are insisting that whoever they cast has to have some kind of relevant life experience. So do you have any relevant life experience?
Well, I went to Bangladesh once to see Daddy's clothes factory.
That'll do! An acting life for him, cause his wallet's not too slim.
I see it all. There's nowhere my career now will not go. One day my lovely friends will chat to me on my talk show. I'll hoover up the voiceovers. Why shouldn't I take more? Who cares if it's work that could feed a family of 4? Adverts for insurance, booze, polluting Chelsea tractors, a charity trip to Africa, as long as they pay the actors. No corporate that I'll decline, no mountain that I can't climb. One day I'll even go and spout some stuff on Question Time. An acting life for me, for an exorbitant fee. The bag ladies are going to hate us, but I'm a national treasure status. Anything else will let me check. I'm a special guest on Anton Deck. Hi diddly dee, an acting life for me.
Well, the sun is starting to set on our top 5 daytime TV shows, but before we have number 1, any questions? George, Emily?
Yeah, well, one, how weird is it when daytime spills into prime time? E.g., Lorraine hosting that wedding game show, or Richard and Judy doing that slot on Babe Station. Certain presenters and formats belong in a certain time slot. Otherwise, it's like a milkman delivering a curry.
Absolutely right. Daytime presenters, know your place.
Who are the people at home during the days who don't watch daytime TV?
Radio 4 listeners.
And when or where is the cut-off time that marks transition from daytime to evening TV?
You know what I think it is? I think the transition into prime time, it's the one show. In fact, I think that's the primary function of the one show. I think it's to usher us into evening programmes with a slightly more upmarket calibre of guests and furniture. It's like the Habitat corner of Homebase. Here's the one show. It is one show. It's repeated with almost no variance, day in, day out. Alex, they've asked us to do one of those pre-credit sequences where we have to act a bit.
Well, I can't act.
No, neither can I.
Let's cut to the punchline and the awkward silence before the titles roll.
And cue titles?
For Pete's sake, hurry up, man.
And roll titles.
Hello and welcome to the show. An extraordinary achievement creating network television with the same content feel and excitement level of local radio. We're the hosts, that nice couple who've moved into one of those new builds just outside Luton.
That's right, sitting so unnaturally close together, we're almost conjoined. OK, it says ad-lib on the auto cue. Do you fancy sharing a bowel, Alex?
Not with you.
Great banter. And we're live this evening, sitting in front of a window to serve as some kind of a signal to what time of day it is, should you have spent the entire day lying in bed delirious with gastric flu.
Oh, look, someone's waving through the window. BBC security will deal with it. There it is. I should get him onto you, Matt.
Yeah, we're not doing banter anymore, Alex.
I'll just sit here then, shall I?
All right, you do need to turn down that passive aggression, though. Right, let's open the magical one-show bin liner of random words and see what's in the show today. Plugs, walnuts, hate crime, Sanita, flagpoles, brie.
Also, we have a cuddly celebrity guest like Frank Skinner, Des O'Connor, Julia Bradbury, Tom Kerridge or Christopher Biggins. The whole thing resembling a jokeless panto.
But first, serious face engaged, hands in prayer formation. Let's start with a thinly disguised public information film that states the blindingly obvious and that we haven't bothered to dress up in any way other than putting on an old Now CD in the background. Here's Giles Brandreth.
It happens to us all. We jump in the car and start the morning commute. We look in the rearview mirror and see a fridge on the back seat. What do? We throw it out of the window. But apparently, throwing unwanted fridges out of the windows of moving cars is a real problem. I caught up with Chief Constable Mike Whiskey of Thames Valley Police.
Yeah, we would urge members of the public not to throw fridges out of the windows of moving cars. It is extremely dangerous. Best thing to do is pull over, drag the fridge to the curbside, let nature do the rest.
Wonderful. Thanks, Mike.
Well, Giles is in the studio now, so we can awkwardly talk across our celebrity guest about it. I throw fridges out of my car all the time.
Well, that's the thing. People do.
Sorry, keep talking while I nod. The director's saying something in my ear about what to say next. Thank you for raising this issue for us. We've been asking you to send us your photos of brick walls using the hashtag #MyLifeIsAVacuum. And here's our celebrity guest who we'll ask one question to before the plug. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Brilliant. The book is out now and it's excellent. Take it from my researchers. Singing us out in style is the Galashiels Broken Ladies Choir, who raised over £6 for Pandas Without Borders. They've spent 12 hours travelling down here by coach to sing it for us. Take it away.
Look into my eyes and you will find.
That's all we got time for. Get back on the coach. Bye-bye. That is honestly how I think Matt Baker hears the one show theme in his head. And finally, at number one in the top spot of daytime TV, it's... Well, we tried to narrow it down, but the daytime TV schedule is just too weird and too broad. It's basically just all the other cack that gets dumped in there. Like the great Pacific garbage patch of television, some utter trash sloshes endlessly around the daytime schedule. Some of it's been there as long as the B-Jam carrier bag currently being ingested by a sperm whale somewhere. Consumer programs, shows about roads, shows about auctions, and I have news for you, Channel 4. Nobody loves Raymond. It's like the bubonic plague. It was funny at that time, but we've all moved on.
For me, it's the endless consumer shows. I saw Gloria Hunniford on Rip Off Britain, and she actually said, "Now, being Irish, I've got a bit of a thing for lattes."
Also in this category are the end of the financial year, let's blow the budget, Hospitals Live programmes.
We're standing in the way of the main thoroughfare of the cardiac unit at St Helens and talking to a grey man.
And weird programmes like Probate Hunters. What is that? Why would anyone want to watch people sticking their fingers up another person?
No, Emily. That would be Prostate Hunters. And I would totally watch that.
Yeah.
But really, why? With on-demand services, anything can become daytime TV now. I mean, you're not a slave to what the broadcasters want to give you. You know, one afternoon, I realised I have the world at my fingertips. I thought, I've never seen The Godfather Part 2. I've never seen Fellini's 8.5. So I sat down, I opened my laptop, and I watched 5 episodes back-to-back of Judge Rinder. It has a place, daytime TV. You know, there is something right about the formula. I might have been a bit harsh. Daytime TV is a sickness. It's a companion to the lonely and a window on the world that for some people it's inaccessible. And by and large, they do a good job. It is the poor relation to primetime, and it's pretty mean-spirited to compare the two. And there are some good shows, really good shows. Come Dine With Me consistently keeps a high bar, and if you haven't seen A New Life in the Sun, it's a fabulous documentary following British people setting up new businesses abroad, and they're all hopeless.
Jake, can we wrap this up?
Yeah, the one show's starting.
I am not missing it for this crap.
Thanks very much! Jake Yapp's Media Circus was written, composed and presented by Jake Yapp, who's looking for a villa that can accommodate him, his wife and his grandkids, but not his disappointing son, with George Fouracres, who's painted his house salmon pink, and Emily Lloyd Saney, who's back to doing research. Additional materials by Robin Morgan, who's dragging his fridge to the curb, and the producer was Joe Nunnery, who had a head injury in the last series, but is now back as a doctor. And it was a BBC Studios production, who also do quite a good line in test cards.
Well, that just about brings us to the end of our daytime programmes for you here on BBC One.
It's over.
Stop whining. This show has twice the budget of a daytime factual show.
What show has twice the budget?
Your show.
Really?
Yeah. Makes you wonder where the money went on your show, doesn't it? Jake?
Oh no, we're at the end of this episode of Comedy of the Week. What to do, what to do. Well, here's an idea. You could go listen to more episodes of this series at bbc.co.uk/radio4. I mean, it's not like I want to force you. Okay, I completely am telling you to do it. Just go do it. You will not regret it. You will thank me. You don't even know me, and you'll thank me. Okay, great. Wonderful. Until next time, bye.
The Infinite Monkey Cage returns with the 100th episode.
And we're going to be asking, what do we know now that we didn't know during our first episode back in November 2009?
Now, the 100th episode is very ambitious. We have more guests than we've ever tried to control before. Eric Idle, Katie Brown, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Alice Roberts, Dave Gorman, Andy Hamilton, the Reverend Richard Coles,
And Brian Blessed!
who will be discussing gravitational waves and whether he causes more of them.
I think he does.
To find the podcast, just search for The Infinite Monkey Cage wherever in the universe that you're listening right now and hit subscribe.